Good
Yeah.
evening, everyone. I'm sure you're all excited to listen to our next speaker, who is none other than Mamatha Honaavar. And all of us, most of us, have been, I would say, exposed to her expertise as she takes us through all the meditations and all the recitations and all the work that she does for us. But that's not all. She is a special educator who works with special needs children also. And that is why the topic that has been chosen by her today is wellness for parents of special needs children. And I think this resonates with a lot of us. It would be very interesting. So I'm going to invite Mamatha in and I'm going to talk about her in front of her because she's going to give that beautiful smile to us. Right? So, Mamatha, here I am. Atman, you may have to spotlight her.
Yeah. Give me a moment.
It's added.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mamatha, for being here. And all of you who are new also to this platform will get to know her very well once you interact with all of them on aatmn.com and on Clubhouse and on YouTube, where Mamatha holds recitations, etc., very often. But let me tell you a bit about her first. She is a senior radical mentor and facilitator, clinical hypnotherapist, NLP coach, counselor, and special educator. She works currently at 2 schools and mentors people online and on site through Radical. She conducts a weekly Radical Affirmative singing bowl meditation, which is online on Facebook and is open to all. And at the Daily Recitation, she also conducts programs and recitations and workshops for senior members on emotional, social, financial, physical issues for the participants. Now, every week on Clubhouse, she also conducts Soul's Love recitations on various issues. Now, what about this parenting for special needs children? Every parent goes through the blues of parenting involving helplessness, frustration, anxiety. Trying to overcome this is a task. And what does that make her do? Every parent goes through the blues of parenting, right? So, parents of children with special needs have the additional struggle with the social stigma and the constant need to be courageous. At this event, Mamatha will help us to go beyond human limitations and boundaries so that we can connect with special children at the soul's love level. We will learn how we need to be accepted in their world and not the other way around. So, Mamatha, without much ado, I hand the platform to you and we are looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you so much, Aarti, so much, Atman, and everyone. Actually, at the outset, I thank Atman for treating me as the special one. Thank you, Atman.
Oh my God.
And thank you, Radical and Masters.
Thank you.
Well, bringing up children is not a child's play. You know, whether it is children with special need or any the so-called normal children. You know, it's a serious business. Lot of blind investments happen there, and you don't even know about the returns. And in such situation, if the child is a special child, you know, then the blindfold actually gets thicker. Don't you all agree? Because the agony that the parent goes through when they realize that their child is unable to grow how they grew or how other kids are growing, you know, can't be understood by everyone or anyone. In fact, even though we say, oh, I understand what you're going through, actually, we don't understand that. Only they know the pain. In fact, right from the milestone development to education, social life, career, marriage, independence, bringing the family name forward, everything actually, it gets stalled, or even, at times gets backtracked. In fact, the worry about what will happen to my child when I'm not there, when I'm gone, can actually kill them every minute. And along with this, not to talk about the social stigma that Aarti already mentioned, taboos, others asking about family history. Oh, who was there like this in your family? What was it? Showing the pity. The list of things that they go through is, it's a lot. In fact, while bringing up any kid, there is a knowingness that once the child starts talking or walking, my stress of not knowing why the child cries, because when we all have, as parents, we all have gone through when the newborn, when the infant, when they're unable to say something, and then when they're crying, you don't even know why they are crying, right? But you know that, it's a little bit, and then once they start talking, they know where they can converse with me, they can talk to me, and all these things. They become independent in walking, mixing with people, holding things, eating, toilet training, interacting, then going to school. There is a lot of independence that comes, and then the parents know that it happens. However, in case of special children, there is uncertainty, because they don't know when that child is going to be able to hold a spoon, is going to be able to grab things like any other child. When the child is going to move or roll on the stomach, where we all see, in fact, there is a tradition in South India, I don't know about North India, when a child in the house, when rolls over the stomach, they make something called as kadubu. I mean, any Kannada people over here, they may resonate with that. They actually relish that the child is growing, and it's a very happy thing for them. But whereas in the case of special children, it may not happen, because there is so much of uncertainty, and the uncertainty of the uncertainty. The parents don't know if there could be any certainty with their children. And when it comes to animals, we all know that they can't talk. There may be many animal lovers over here, including aatmn. Okay. And but we all know that they communicate differently, and we are okay with that. We know their limitations, and we wholeheartedly accept it, and we love them. However, that cannot be applied to humans, as we all have expectations from ourselves and our offspring. And it is said that whenever there are expectations, the disappointments are lurking around. So the parents of special children's disappointments with themselves and others, it can start snowballing every day. They blame themselves, and others. Because it's like, I was in so much trauma during my pregnancy, because I have heard this actually, because of my husband, because of my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, or they might have gone through a traumatic incident of losing a loved one. So they say that, I had to go through this, and that's why my child is like this. They may also come up with a statement saying that, I couldn't eat healthy food. I had to work day in and day out. I had to, there were so many people in my house, and I had to cook for them. And I could hardly take care of my health during my pregnancy. They may also come up with a thing that, the doctors neglected me and my baby during either pregnancy or during delivery. And that's why my baby is suffering and I am suffering. And blames like this can become endless. How there is a silver line for everything. We have Radical, the silver line of Radical in our life now. And with Radical, we know that, and we have understood, there is a story behind every story. In fact, I will give you my experience with a mother of a special child when I worked, in Goa. This lady, she brought her child who was 2-year-old. And this child had cerebral palsy along with intellectual disability. Now, during the session, as I was interacting with her, and then, she told me a story. She told me, and she said, she lost her father-in-law 3 years back. And I naturally asked, okay, was he old? No, he was very active all the time, but he died of paralysis. I said, okay. And she continued, before even I could ask, she said, when I went to see him, because he was not with us, he was with my brother-in-law and his wife. And though I wanted him to be with us, he preferred to stay with the elder son and daughter-in-law. And we were also a little far off, so he preferred that, and we all understood. So she said, when she went to see him in the hospital, and she felt very bad seeing him in that condition, because he had been a very active person all through his life. And she silently, told herself, I wish you could come to me. I would take care of you. Okay. And she said, 2 days later, the father-in-law died. After around, I think, 11 months or 1 year, she delivers a healthy baby, actually. Okay. But suddenly, I think 1 or 2 days, she was still in the hospital. And suddenly the child went through some complication. Though by birth he was a healthy child and everything was fine. And doctors were rushed, and then he was put in the incubator and all those things. But then, if I remember, there was some power shortage. He was in the incubator, and he couldn't get a proper oxygen, the stories. And his left side of his body gets affected with the cerebral palsy, which is again a kind of paralysis. Okay, and that affects the motor movements of that part. And when I asked, she actually remembered that the father-in-law also had paralysis on the left side. This was an amazing thing for when she realized that it was an amazing thing for herself, and then an eye-opener. In fact, she actually realized how the oath that she took to take care of her father-in-law manifested through her son. In fact, when she realized it, a very loving lady, very calm and composed, she realized that her blame that the nurses did not take care actually stopped. In fact, she took up the ownership of whatever she had spoken. She actually started working with herself also. She not only empowered herself, she could also work with her son with so much of love and compassion and dedication. Not just that, she also has an elder daughter, and she also told the elder daughter how to work with the son and the husband. I mean, the entire family took the ownership, and then the results were also phenomenal. Now the question is, what is this example teaching us? It definitely tells us about certain incompletions, oaths, vows, promises, curses if there are any, our need for certain experiences, and much more. In fact, the children with special needs, and of course all of us, we are here to give certain experience to our parents, and our children are here to give some experience to all of us. And that experience could be the completions from any incompletions carried forward from many lives. I certainly feel they are here for us to be in sync with our words and actions. They're here to make us understand that they mean business. As you know, in the morning we had Gigi Vijayan's session, and as she rightly said, everything in life is a business. They are here to teach us to honor all that is. When we are unable to connect to the special children in the so-called normal way, there is always a way to connect to them. As you all must be knowing, at least the radical students who are here, the radical practitioners, facilitators, mentors, there is a chakra called right detour, actually detour chakra, right and left. When you cannot reach something in a way, or if you find certain blocks, take a smart detour, right? So there is always a way, and we can take that detour and connect to them. And that is, for me, is a heart-to-heart route. That detour is a heart-to-heart. It leads to the heart-to-heart route. That leads to that soul-to-soul connection, which goes beyond any human level limitations. In fact, I can narrate many examples, and let me also relate another example of child. And this child, let's say, let's name him A. Okay. He was very good with numbers when I was working with him. He would remember the birthdays of everyone. He would remember the names, the face, and their birthdays, and including their phone numbers. Now, when I saw that, I said, let's work with this child in this manner, because we could see where the child has strength. So numbers, mathematics, and he was a quick learner. Though he was on spectrum, autism spectrum, but he was a quick learner. Then when we started working, we saw that his notebook had only one page. So I told, tell your mother, tell your parents to get you a new book. So, and he would diligently go and tell that teacher has told me to bring a new notebook. And we had Saturday, Sunday holiday, and then he had to come on Monday. Somehow the parents were busy with some function, and they forgot. So morning, when it was time to come to school, he remembered. He said, "Where is my notebook?" And early morning in Goa, not all the shops are open. So the mother said, I will, because we involved the parents also as volunteers. She said, when I'm coming, and it was her day to volunteer. She said, when I'm coming, I will bring the notebook. Okay, he said, fine. And though there was little resistance, because he asked her, I had told you why you didn't bring, and now I have to go. So, but he came, and then he told me, the moment he entered the classroom, he told me, I don't have the thing, but my mother is bringing. I said, fine. Let's do the other activities, and it can be. Around 10:30, the mother enters. In 2 minutes, his behavior went really, really bad. Like he started screaming, started throwing things. Nobody knew what had happened. And then I just looked at the mother, and then I understood what had happened. I just took her. I told my colleague, a very, very loving person, again, told her, you just be here. I'm just going to talk to this parent in the other next room. So I did not tell her. I just made her connect to the son. Check with your son. What is he asking? And since we were working with the parents like this, she could connect to that child immediately. And then she said, he's angry with me. I said, okay. So ask him, why is he angry with me? So she said, he's angry with me because I didn't bring the notebook. I said, okay, so you understood? She said, yeah. So let's go back to the class. So we came the moment, and then of course we did, those days we did Ho'oponopono in Goa when I was there, and forgiveness, and a lot of sending, lot of love, everything. And then I said, okay, now shall we go? By the time we came inside, he had calmed down here in the class, and then he was sitting in a place. And he looked at the mother and he asked, where is the note? The first thing that he asked. And mother was surprised. She said, I know. And she actually said, I'm sorry. While coming in a hurry, I forgot. And what happened here was children, whether it's children with special need or anyone, they're all very literal. Even we are very literal. If something is told, we stick to it many times. And for him, she had promised that I will bring the notebook. And he saw that there was no notebook in her hand, and then the tantrum started, and he was very angry because he had told me that the mother is bringing. Now there could have been anger on mother as well as himself, that his words were, he lied. Okay, that kind of a thing. Now it's very simple whether to deal with children. When we connect to them, we actually know what they want. But then many times with we are in our own world, and we are actually we are not able to connect to them. In fact, when it happens, the connection, whether it is our children with special needs, or any other person in our relationship, and also the connection with our higher consciousness. When we are connected at the soul level, and when we get to the brilliance, and you all know, with Radical, it has really become, very easy. And that's the reason why I'm not going to talk about any therapies, whether it is a physiotherapy or a sensory integration therapy or speech therapy. The information is available everywhere. What we are going to do is connect to them with the all-time biggest solvent called Soul's Love. In fact, through Soul's Love, we can address a lot of incompletions, again, vows, promises, our need for certain experiences. In fact, when Atman asked me, it's anyway, during when she said, Mamatha, I want to take the interview, like what you want to do, I had mentioned another incident where the parent, the mother, she started working on herself because she regressed and she understood that the connection has happened from some past life. And today, that child is completely integrated. In fact, whenever I wanted to work, like for example, there is a child and I'm clueless as to what helps this child to, or this parent, what is it that I need to do? Sometimes I would go completely clueless, and I have always had guidance around 3 or 4 in the morning and some idea. Of course, I didn't know like how did this idea come, and then I would go and implement those ideas with the children. And the success rate used to be instantaneous. Many times I have actually learned a lot from these children. For example, there was a child who would actually, a child on a spectrum, and he wanted to hear the sound, and he had the habit of doing his hands, shaking his hands all the time. What one day he did was some rings for the sensory thing were given, and then he had to put those rings, use their rings, and then activity was given to him. He started putting those rings to his fingers. And then I was observing. I said, why? He was actually supposed to stack them, but he started putting them. And I was observing, and I'm wondering why this child is doing this. Next moment, the child is doing like this, and with that ring, there is a kind of clinking sound, and the child was so happy. Because it made me understand that the children know what they want. And when we allow them, just like any other child, they will also come up with their own solution. And today, he's a grown-up boy. And my colleagues over there have worked, and he has become a musician. And he actually plays guitar so beautifully. And it's all about, of course, we all talk about bringing them to mainstream. And that mainstream, bringing them to mainstream happens when we take ownership of being that there has been some incompletions, and we are on the path of completing those incompletions. And when that happens, we are actually grateful. Otherwise, of course, we all worry. Who doesn't want to have a child who is bright, who is beautiful, who is handsome, who is intelligent, who brings laurels to wherever they go, whether it is school or college, and of course parents. Who doesn't want? But then all of us have come up with different life plans. And when we connect to every child in our life, we understand what this child is helping me through. That's the reason today I do not have any PPTs, and Atman very beautifully told me, PPT you're not supposed to. And that gave me so much of confidence. And let's all connect. Connect to the frequency of love. Because when your parent scolded you, you might have felt, I'm not the special one for my parent. And when we are talking about special children, you may even wonder, like, oh, you know what? Special in special way. Let's connect to all the special children in us. Let's connect to those souls who are here to teach us the language of love. In fact, before we connect, I'll take you through, I'm just guided to do Soul's Love Recitation. And if there are any questions, please let me know. Atman, can they unmute and speak if they have any questions?
It would be best, Mamta, if they raise their hand and then they can write in the chat and you can answer their question.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is some comment, and let me just look into this. Okay. Anahita Mishra. Namaste, Gita. How do we take ownership of the situation of having a child with special needs? What statements do we need to recite? Sure. We will see how in the flow what comes, because the statement could be different for different parent. However, in the flow, it will definitely, come, because it's not just about taking ownership about any children with special needs. We all need to take ownership to our deeds, our words. Otherwise, we may land up in the victim zone. When we do not own ourselves, we blame others. Of course, that also is going to be an experience, as Radical teaches us. One need not have to feel guilty of being a victim or a victimizer. But then certainly it's about everyone, not just parents with special needs. Anahita, I hope I answered the question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So since right now no one has raised the hands, let's do Soul's Love Recitation. Please close your eyes. focus on your breathing. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. As you breathe in all the positive energy. And as you breathe out the unawareness. Keep breathing in. All the positive energy. The more you breathe in the positive energy, the more there is. Slowly come back to your normal breathing. Invoke the masters, the frequency of soul's love, your highest consciousness, and the superconscious, who is connecting and guiding all of us. My connection to my children is my soul's love. My connection to my children is my soul's love. My connection to my children is my soul's love. My connection to my special child is my soul's love. My connection to my special child is my soul's love. My connection to my special child is my soul's love. my frustration of how to bring up the special child is my soul's love. My frustration of how to bring up my special child is my soul's love. My frustration of how to bring up my special child is my soul's love. My pain of seeing my child struggle to do even the simple tasks is my soul's love. My pain of seeing my child struggle to do even a simple task is my soul's love. My pain of seeing my child struggle to do even a simple task is my soul's love. My helplessness of not being able to help my child is my soul's love. My helplessness of not being able to help my child is my soul's love. My helplessness of not being able to help my child is my soul's love. The hurt of not being able to hear the word ma, mother, amma is my soul's love. The hurt of not being able to hear the word from my child as amma, ma, mother is my soul's love. My hurt of not being able to hear the word ma, amma, mother like other children, other parent is my soul's love. My need to blame myself that I must have done a bad karma in my previous life is my soul's love. My need to blame myself that I have done some bad karma in my previous life is my soul's love. In fact, this is the I is for all the parents of special children. And even we can say their need to blame themselves that they have made a bad karma in the previous life is our soul's love. My promises made in my previous lives are my soul's love. The promises made in the previous lives are my soul's love. The promises made in the previous lives are my soul's love. The need to borrow oaths and vows from the ancestors to complete in this life is my soul's love. The need to borrow oaths and vows from the ancestors to complete in this life is my soul's love. The need to borrow oaths and vows from the ancestors to complete in this life is my soul's love. My need to take the responsibility of completing all the incompletions across generations is my soul's love. My need to take the responsibility of completing all the incompletions across generations is my soul's love. My need to take the responsibility of completing the incompletions across all generations is my soul's love. My unawareness of all my incompletions is my soul's love. My unawareness of all the incompletions and unfulfillment is my soul's love. My unawareness of all incompletions and unfulfillment is my soul's love. My gratitude for the soul who is helping me to complete the incompletions is my soul's love. My gratitude to the souls who are helping to complete the incompletions is my soul's love. My gratitude to all the souls who are helping all of us to complete the incompletions in their unique way, in our unique way, is my soul's love. My unique life plan and my unique need for experiences is my soul's love. My unique life plan and my need for unique experiences is my soul's love. My unique life plan and my need for unique experiences is my soul's love. My unique relationship with every special person in my life is my soul's love. My unique experience with every special person in my life is my soul's love. My unique experience with every special person in my life is my soul's love. The special person in me is my soul's love. The special person in me is my soul's love. The special person in me is my soul's love. My ability to connect to all the souls with love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and care is my soul's love. My ability to connect to all the souls with love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and care is my soul's love. My ability to connect to all the souls with love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and care is my soul's love. My alignment with the special role play of my life is my soul's love. My alignment with the special role play of my life is my soul's love. My alignment with the special role play of my life is my soul's love. I am my soul's love. My life is my soul's love. Slowly move your fingers. Move your toes. Shrug your shoulders. Turn your head side to side. Take a deep breath. Gather all your energies back into your physical body. And then come back to your body. You may open your eyes. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mamatha.
I'll put Aarti and spotlight.
In fact, there is a question from a Zoom user. I don't know the name. Some children don't understand or relate to emotions, how to deal with them. When, again, I'll certainly quote Gigi over here, how she gave the example of the business person when he started working on himself, right? So if we see that there are children who are unable to get in touch with their emotions, somewhere some part of that parent might be frozen. The emotions are frozen. And when the parents start working on themselves, when they get in touch with their frozen emotions, bring it back to the forefront and address it, I'm sure they will see the change in the child or in children. Because I have seen the magic that soul's love does. Thank you so much.
Mamatha, thank you so much for this absolutely soul-stirring recitation, and I'm sure it has resonated with all people, in fact, and women and parents with special needs will relate to it. And the inputs that you gave, it was very valuable. Thank you so much for that. Gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure it has resonated with all people, in fact, and women and parents with special needs will relate to it. And the inputs that you gave, it was very valuable. Thank you so much for this. Gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I always relate to one word, the Swahili word, I am because you are. It's called as Ubuntu, the word Ubuntu. It's a Swahili word. Thank you for holding this space and inspiring spread of the essence of soul's love. Thank you. And Atman, thank you.